Hello YouTube friends, this is Veronica. Thanks for joining me. This is another tag video. I know we've had so many tag videos this spring and summer, but I have to tell you, I have a lot of fun doing them. I was tagged by Masked Man Reviews, one of the first people that I met. In fact, I wonder if he was the first other YouTuber that I met on here when I started my channel back in December. We've just had a YouTube friendship ever since, so thanks so much for that tag. I will be tagging 3 people at the end of this video. We're going to focus on fragrances that fall into the cheapie category. I don't like that word. I think I've said that in videos before. There's something about that word that just bugs me. But cheapie refers to a fragrance that is inexpensive that we love. And so for the purposes of this video, I used about the $30 US mark or lower as my criteria to include fragrances. I tried to stick to 10 fragrances because I could talk to you probably about 50 or more cheapies that I really love and enjoy. And I also tried to pick out fragrances that I haven't talked about a lot on my channel, with the exception of one that I've become pretty well known for. You can probably guess what I'm gonna say. Let me start off with 2 honorable mentions that didn't make the 10 because they are what people don't like about cheapies. They actually smell cheap. That said, I still like them and would recommend them if you don't mind having whatever that thing is that gives off that cheap smell. Cafe, the company is Coffin Lux, and this is considered a dupe for like Shalimar from the 80s version of Shalimar. Cafe. I do like this and I would wear it. And Sand and Sable. It's summertime and so it's appropriate to bring this out. This is really more like a body spray that you can layer under your summer or coconut kinds of fragrances. I don't know that I would wear this on my own unless I was just hanging around the house. It's a bit screechy, but I do like it. It gives me some like gardenia. I think there's some gardenia in here. Florals, white florals, and a beachy smell. There's a bit of suntan lotion in here. So those are my 2 cheapie honorable mentions. Now, for the ones that I think smell a lot more expensive than they are, whatever it is that we think that means. We'll chat about that another day in another video. But Tocade by the House of Rauchas, absolutely beautiful, crazy bottle. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this bottle. It's a little bit circusy to me. Some people really like this. This is a very powdery vanilla. It has some green notes at the top. In the middle, you get beautiful florals: orchid, magnolia, jasmine, rose, iris, vanilla, amber, patchouli, and musk in the base. Gorgeous, grown-up fragrance. If you didn't know that this was inexpensive and you smelled this just like on a strip, you would think you were working with something super expensive. I recently learned that Urban Outfitters has a whole line of fragrances, and about maybe like 2 months ago, I purchased a couple of them. One of which is, I think this is pronounced Miel Bebe. Bebe? These are about $18 on the Urban Outfitters site. These are all US prices. And this one has mandarin, honey blossom, sandalwood, and praline. So if you definitely get a lot of the orange at the top, that mandarin scent. This is kind of Coco Mademoiselle-ish without being so grown up. You definitely get the sandalwood and the honey blossom. I don't get much praline in this, but honey, bebe. These are little bottles, by the way, tiny bottles, 18 US. A subscriber turned me onto this, and it is Christina Aguilera Red Sin. Hate the bottle, love the fragrance. This is cinnamon, warm, spicy goodness. There's a little bit of fruitiness in here. It's very, very like a sexy date night kind of fragrance. You get cinnamon and red apple at the top, and I love that this has a ginger note in it too. Next up is a house that I've really come to enjoy. I have about 6 fragrances from them. They've all been very inexpensive, and I have enjoyed them all. I haven't had one bum fragrance from this house. They've all been enjoyable. This one it's Frank Olivier is the house, and it's Bella. This is the one that I want to feature because I've talked about a bunch of them. Or maybe it's Bella. Bella, Bella, whatever language that's supposed to be, and you can pronounce it both ways. This is a fruity, rosy, woody fragrance. Really quite pleasant. Raspberry, lychee, and lemon at the top. Rose in the middle that stands out the most. Very rosy, fruity fragrance. Some amber and musk in the base, a little better vetiver. Next is one that I did feature in a scent of the day video, and I think it is so, so cute. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum, This is 007. Eon Productions is the company that produces this. It's fruity, it's sweet, it's floral, it has a little vanilla in it, it has a little powder. I think I got this for some ridiculous price, $12 or $13, or maybe even less than that. It has champagne, a nice champagne note at the top, raspberry, it has blackberry and black rose in the middle, a little gardenia. It says it has leather in it. I don't get leather from it at all. Or do I? In the distance, maybe like a little hint, but you get a nice vanilla, like a musky vanilla in the base of this. This is a hidden gem, you guys. 007 by Eon Productions. Next is one that I can't believe I really like. I thought I would hate this based on how it looks. And I have talked about this one a lot, so I'm sorry if this is a repeat. It's Midnight Fantasy by Britney Spears. This is, someone called this the blueberry friend of strawberry shortcake, and that's totally right. This smells to me very, very like powdery blueberry with a little hint of vanilla. It has a plum, sour cherry, raspberry mix at the top, orchid, iris, and freesia in the middle, and then like a musky vanilla-y base. My husband really likes this on me, especially when he doesn't know what it is, because if I tell him what it is, he'll convince himself that it smells cheap. But when I say, do you like this? And he says yes, and I say, well, it's Britney Spears. It's Britney. Midnight Fantasy. He's shocked. This is a really, like a great evening fragrance. I don't know that it lasts super long. I haven't worn it for a whole day. I only spray this on at night before bed. And it's just a really pleasant, nice, fruity smell. Love this. Next is one that I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of it. The house is Aubusson. And it's, I know y'all, this bottle. This is part of the reason I've been ashamed to show this, because this bottle is just so outrageous. This looks like a bad 80s outfit with huge shoulder pads and big hair. I think it's called Desiderade or Desiderata. But regardless of how this bottle looks, this is a super nice little fragrance. It's floral, it's powdery, it's fresh, it's fruity. It's got some ylang-ylang and pineapple at the top, some coriander. In the middle, you get a bunch of stuff. Osmanthus, tuberose, jasmine, some rose. In the base, sandalwood, vanilla, patchouli, raspberry. This is delightful. I really like this. I think I got this for a ridiculously low price. I can't remember. I want to say under $15. And the bottle alone is just like a relic from like a bad 80s movie. It looks like one of those sculptures you would have seen in a movie featuring a family in like one of those 80s like retro mansions. And it's sitting like in the foyer on a huge pedestal. Desiderade or Desiderata by Aubusson. I would recommend it though. It's really quite nice and very, very pleasant on the skin. The next one I learned about from Ange at 50 Cent UK. I'm blaming you, Ange, for this one. And it is White Diamonds Night by Elizabeth Taylor. This, my husband does not like this. So let me be clear. I'll have to wear this on a day when we're not having a night out or a night in. It's woody, it's powdery. I get some citrus in here. To me, this is a heavy amber fragrance, very musky, very, very heavy on the patchouli. You have apricot, orange, bergamot at the top. In the middle, you get jasmine and freesia. And in the base, and here's what I get the most out of this, resins. So it's very ambery to me, patchouli and musky. I like it. I think it's not, even though it's inexpensive, maybe not a safe blind buy in terms of the scent. You have to like those deep, even though it's not a note in here, like plummy, resinous fragrances to enjoy White Diamonds Night. I bet this would shine wonderfully in very cold weather in the winter. I think something like this would bloom and be perfect in icy, icy weather. Next is That's Me. That's Me. Helene Fisher. Hate the name of the fragrance. I'm not sure what I think of this bottle. I partially dislike it and partially think it's trying to be bold. So I'll give it some credit, but it comes across rather like plasticky. It's not too bad, but the fragrance is nice. It's mostly a vanilla. I sprayed it on here. It's mostly a vanilla fragrance with some powderiness, some florals in here. This has a peach note at the top with some tangerine. It has coconut in the middle, which I think gives it a nice softness. Lotus, which also gives it some additional softness. Rose and vanilla woody notes, a little musky in the base. Very pleasant, very inoffensive, one you could probably overspray and be happy with. Great for spring and summer. The next one is one that I have featured in a scent of the day video. It's Elizabeth Arden, Fifth Avenue Royale. I really like this. This is heavy though, even though this is inexpensive. And by the way, I think this is getting harder to find. I'm not sure if it's discontinued. I think that it is, but it's a patchouli and leather fragrance with a lot of warmth and spiciness to it. It has a liquor note at the top, raspberry, bergamot, and blossom. In the middle, you get this really sultry patchouli. It's not like a dirty patchouli. It's hard to describe. Cypriol oil. In the base, you get suede, labdanum, amberwood, and musk. It is another one of these super grown and sexy fragrances on a dime. This can rival, to me, any high-end fragrance easily. It's one of those, if you sprayed, again, did a blind test on someone, they didn't know what they were sniffing, they might think they were sniffing something very niche. Another one that I think is great in fall and cold weather, really will come to life and just do super well. I opened the video with saying I wanted to share with you fragrances that I don't talk about a lot. But yes, I have talked about this one a lot, and it's with good reason. It's one of my favorites, and it's my favorite cheapie of all time. It is, you know it, Still by Jennifer Lopez. You can see the writing on the back there, Still Jennifer Lopez. This is one of the originals with the script with Jennifer Lopez's name in cursive. That's how you know it is one of the original formulations, although the new formulations are almost identical. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. If you've watched my past videos, you know I have a backup video that was another tag video. What fragrances have I purchased backups for? I have 4 backups for this. That's how much I love this. It's clean, it's simple, it's, not anything super unique, but it works in just about every occasion. It works for evening, it works for daytime. It's spectacular in the daytime. It can go to office, it can go to special occasion. It's just beautiful. It's a white floral. It has some green notes in it, a little bit of citrus, and it has a tea note at the top, which I really love. Earl Grey tea and some orange at the top, a little pepper. There's a rice note and an apple note at the top as well. So the opening of this is just comforting and lovely to me and brings back really good, happy memories. Still by Jennifer Lopez. This should get a lot more attention and love than it does on YouTube. So those are my 10 cheapies that I wanted to share with you in this video. I would like to tag Lulu. I want to tag Melissa Jean and Perfumes with Pat. I'd like to see the 3 of you tell us what your favorite inexpensive fragrances are. Everyone have a fantastic day. If you enjoyed this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing so we can hang out again. Take care, friends.